Hi everyone, this is Samantha from the Dancing Soap Dish. Today I'm bringing you this beautiful glycerin soap tutorial. It is embossed mandala soap bars. So as you can see here, I have 4 different colored soap bars, each with a beautiful mandala shape embossed on them. They are beautiful and sparkly and shiny because I used colored mica, which has a beautiful shimmer. And if you look here they are with the stamps next to them that I used. Beautiful little stamps. It's a very easy process, yet a stunning result to make these soaps made from a melt and pour soap base. As per usual, all the details and a full printable tutorial are on the Dancing Soap Dish website, so don't forget to check that out. But for now, we'll get started with the video. So first off, I just want to show you this great haul of stamps I got from AliExpress. I'll put a link in the description. But I saw these. They're actually for polymer clay. And I fell in love with them. They're so beautiful and detailed. And I couldn't decide which ones to buy. I loved every single pattern, so I bought them all. And here they are. As you can see, we have flowers, mandalas, butterflies. There's even a beautiful dove, a fan. They're all really cool designs. Here's a lovely little sun. He's so happy, or she's so happy. They're hard plastic, which they need to be to stamp into soap. And just look at the detail on these. They're amazing. Some of them are a little bit imperfect, but that's okay for what we're going to do with them. That's not going to be a problem. Here's some other soap bars I made with the flowers. As you can see, similar concept. It's a slightly smaller bar than what I'm making today, but they're just so beautiful and really simple to make. So I'm going to do the mandalas today, and I'm going to do them on circular soap bars. Here's my mold here. I've got 5 stamps, but I've only got 4 cavity molds, so I'm going to have to leave one out. I'm just checking first that they actually fit, because if they don't fit, then I can't use them. But they do, they're perfectly snug, so they only just fit. Oh, that one fits fine. I really like these two, so I'll definitely do these. I like this one too. I love both of these as well, but I think this square one would work better on a square bar of soap, so I might use that later. And I will pick this one as my last one. So there you go. As you can see, they all fit inside the mold, which is good because we'll need to do that in order to emboss the soap. I've put my mold on a tray lined with a piece of grease-proof paper, and I'm going to start weighing out my soap. I'm using an ultra clear melt and pour soap base, just so that I've got the clarity so I can see the mandala in my soap. I'm going to make an 80-gram soap, which is about a 3-ounce soap, but I'm only going to fill my cavities halfway to begin with. So I'm going to weigh out, I need 4 lots of 40 grams, or if you're using ounces, maybe 4 lots of 1.5 ounces, plus a little bit extra for wastage, because there'll be a little bit that sticks to the jug, so just a few extra cubes for that. And I'm going to very carefully melt it so that I hopefully don't get too many bubbles in it and I don't burn it, because then sometimes it can go a bit cloudy. I haven't scented it because I don't want the scent to discolor the clear soap or make the soap go cloudy, which can sometimes happen depending on the scent that you use. I've set my tray on my kitchen scales, and I am resetting it to 0 in between weighing out each bar at 40 grams or approximately 1.5 ounces. I'm spraying them with alcohol to get rid of the bubbles as well as I go. And once this is done, I will set a timer for about 20 minutes and then I'll come back and check to see if they've hardened up after that time. I want these soap bars to be just set. So obviously not still liquid, but still soft enough to be able to emboss them with the stamps. Melt and pour soap, glycerin soap, is incredibly hard. It's much harder than cold processed soaps and other soaps that have to cure for a number of weeks in order to harden. So you need to stamp them as soon as they are just set. Don't leave the soaps overnight. If you come back the next day, they'll be too hard. So this has set perfectly now. It's only been 20 minutes and I'm going to line up my stamps. See this one here? It's a little bit off center. I'm going to have to take that into account when I line it up, but that's okay. These ones here are a bit easy because they fit very snug. So there's sort of only one way I can put these in, which is fine. And it'll stop any movement, which is a good thing. And I'll line that one up too. So I'm just lining them up where I want them to go so I can start my stamping. There we go, that looks pretty good. I'm going to take them off my tray now and just put them on the countertop because the silicone mold will grip the countertop, which will give me a bit of leverage there. So this is what I'm going to use to stamp them with. Yes, it is a hammer, and yes, you need a hammer. Just pushing down with your hands, with your fingers, will not be enough pressure to emboss this soap. It is just too hard, even though it's been 20 minutes since I poured it. So I'm using this really cool hammer. It's got a very small head and it's perfect for just pounding very, very, well, I don't want to say lightly because I'm actually pounding it quite hard. So just pound it all the way around, even on the handle, or else you'll find the middle section of your designs won't come out too well unless you pound the handle. There we go. I'm just hammering all the way around. I'm going to turn it and make sure I give the other side an equal hammering. I'm just taking my time at this point. I really want to make sure I get the whole design stamped evenly. So I am going around a couple of times, making sure I get the edges, making sure I get the center, and soon we will see if it works. Here we go. Okay. I'm just going to lift that up now. It's a bit hard to see because the soap is clear, but yes, I have embossed the soap with that design. Isn't it beautiful? That worked really well. I'm really happy with how that turned out. So now I'm going to go on and do the other three. Okay, so thanks guys for sitting through that. I left that in there to show you just how much time I spent doing that hammering and how much is really needed to decently emboss these bars of soap. Now I'm moving on to the colouring stage, and to do that I'm going to use my coloured mica. Here's a set that I mixed myself in my mica mixing video. I'll put a link in the description. You'll also need a paintbrush with soft bristles, nice fine soft bristles, so you can get into all those nooks and crannies that we've embossed. I'm going to do multiple colours when I paint these. So I'm going to start with a base colour, so in this case yellow, and then I'm just also going to put out some variations. So here is a yellow gold that I made. I really want sort of like a marigold colour, which I don't have, so I'm just quickly going to mix one up here. And I might add this marigold colour to the recipe section that I have in my mica mixing article on the Dancing Soap Dish website. So I've just done 3 parts yellow to 1 part orange, and I'll just see here if that's the colour that I'm after. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. I've just shaken that up to mix it, and I've got this beautiful marigold colour. Beautiful. And I like to use at least 4 colours, so I'm also going to use gold. So the process is very simple. There's really no way to get this wrong. Once you've selected the design you want to work with, just start adding the colours little by little with the paintbrush, making sure that you push the mica into the grooves, the embossed grooves. Paint the majority of your surface with the base colour, which is in this case is yellow, and then use your other colours as highlights and lowlights just in random spaces around the surface of the soap. I'm dry brushing this mica on. I'm not using any liquid or alcohol. It's simply just going on dry, which is fine. You'll find that it does stick quite well to the soap surface. And you just keep going with your beautiful patterns and beautiful blending until the entire surface of the soap is covered. Okay, so now my beautiful mandalas have had their soap surface painted. I'm just going to get rid of any excess mica that might be sitting on the surface or stuck in the grooves, because I don't want that to float to the top when I add my next layer of soap. So I'm just turning them over onto a paper towel and just gently tapping the back just to shake off a little bit. See, there wasn't a lot, but there was a little bit left on the paper towel, as you can see. I'm also going to clean up the sides of the mold. So as you can see here, unavoidable when using a paintbrush to not get any on the side of the mold. In hindsight, maybe I could have used some masking tape to mask off the side of the mold before I started dry brushing the soap surface. So if you're a real perfectionist, that might be something you'd like to try. But I find this is a baby wipe, or just a wet wipe. Works really well at just cleaning up the side of the mold. I don't want to touch the surface of my soap with the wet wipe because I don't want to wipe off any of the mica. So I'm actually just going not quite to the soap surface, but I'm just creating a nice neat line close to the surface of the soap, which will look fine. And here we go. They are ready to go. So the next step is a layer of black soap. I say black soap, but really it just needs to be a really dark soap. You'll see in a minute that I'm not even going to be using pure black. It's actually going to be blended with another color. So whatever sort of you have, whether you have, whether you use charcoal or liquid soap coloring or whatever you've got, you can just use the best way to get black or close to black. So I've weighed out the same amount of clear soap as I weighed out at the beginning, because I'm just going to do the rest of my soap bars. I am adding fragrance this time, so this is where you fragrance your soap. I can put it in this black layer because it doesn't matter if it goes cloudy. See, the fragrance I put in was slightly off color. It's made my soap a little bit brown, but that's fine. So here I have a royal purple liquid soap coloring and a black liquid soap coloring, and I'm actually going to mix the royal purple with the black in order to get my really dark soap, simply because I find I need to add too much of the black soap coloring to get a really dark color. But if I use a combination of the royal purple, which is really, really dark, I just added 3 drops here and you can see how dark that is, with 3 drops of the black, I find I get a much darker color. And once the colors sort of all together on the back of the soap, it looks black. It only looks purple when you're looking at small amounts of it like you are now. So this is perfectly sufficient. It just needs to be a really dark color, whether you've got like a dark navy blue or a really, really dark brown burgundy. It needs to be a dark color behind the mica in order to really bring out the embossing. If you put a layer of white, you'll find that you won't get quite the same effect from the mica. It won't look quite as good. So it needs to be black or as close to black as you can get with another color. So I'm going to start pouring my soap. I'm pouring it onto the spoon and down the side of the mold, because I can't pour directly onto the mica because the heat and the force of the soap hitting the mica could cause the mica to smudge. Once that whole layer of mica is covered, you can pull the spoon away just like I did there. Again, I've got my soap mold on a tray and the tray on a set of kitchen scales, and I am weighing out my 40 grams or my 1.5 ounces, the rest of my bar into each cavity, resetting the scales to 0 in between pouring each soap. I'm also again spraying each one with isopropyl alcohol in order to remove any bubbles. And once this layer of soap is set, that's pretty much it. That's your soap finished. Just then there's nothing else to do. So it is a pretty simple process. It's basically pour half a bar of soap, stamp it, emboss it, paint it, and then pour the second half of your bar of soap. And that is done and done. And what I really love about these is because the design of the soap is in the center of the soap bar, as you use the soap and it, uses away, you'll always have that design in the center. You know, it's going to be visible till you get that very last sliver of soap. It's not something that's going to wash off, something that's just going to disappear. You're going to be using that bar of soap, and the whole time until you get down to like the very last sliver is going to have that beautiful embossed design in it. And I think that's fantastic. Okay, here they are. They are ready to demold. I left them for a good hour just to be sure, but again, they were set after half an hour. But like I said, I just left them for a good hour. Here they are here. Just going to ease them out of my mold. Here's the blue one coming out first. Look at that. Just stunning. Just so beautiful. And as you can imagine, you know, you can make any design you want. If you wanted to go to all the trouble of painting the sections of the mandala individual colors, you could do that. You know, I didn't do that. I just sort of slapped my mica on because it's a tutorial and I was just trying to show you the basic concept. But I mean, you can do amazing things with beautiful mica colors, beautiful patterns. You can paint it up however you want. And this is how they come out. And they are just stunning. I'm going to spray them with some alcohol because when they're wet, it shows you what they'll look like, you know, as you use them. They come out a little bit sort of foggy and frosty, but when they get wet, that is when they really have this awesome clarity and they are truly, truly stunning. There they are there. How beautiful is that? There we go. My beautiful embossed mandala glycerin soap bars or melt and pour soap bars. There they are. Give them a try yourself. They are so easy to make, as you've just seen. And also, as a special bonus today, I'm going to show you how you can wrap them so that you get this beautiful, clear, shiny, really clear finish on them. So there's a lot of clarity there on that yellow bar compared to, say, the green bar here and the other bars that I haven't wrapped. They sort of look a little bit sort of frosted in comparison. Still beautiful, but a little bit frosted. Whereas, see how I've wrapped this just in some plastic with a sticker, a label, and by doing that, it's really showing you the clear design of the mandala, the beautiful shimmer of the mica. So a good way to do that is just to get some plastic wrap, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray the surface of the soap with the alcohol and then wrap it. So that layer of alcohol then gets sort of entombed in the packaging, in the wrap of the soap, and that will stay clear and beautiful like that for the entire time that it's wrapped. So I'm just going to pull the plastic wrap around it and do my best to tighten it. I've got a bubble in it. I don't know if you can see it. There's a giant bubble here, which is what I was trying to avoid, but there we go. So I might just have to peel back one of these sides of the plastic so I can just squeeze this bubble out, because you don't want a big bubble in it because that will ruin the effect. Okay, so I'm just gonna smooth this out. Yep, get rid of the bubbles. Okay, try this again. So pull it up around the edge of your soap bar and just pull the plastic wrap taut around the soap, just like that. And you get this beautiful sort of smooth finish. Then if you take it at the back and sort of twist it around, it also pulls it a little bit tighter, which is really good there. And make sure you have a nice tight finish on your bar of soap. See how that's looking much clearer than it was before it was wrapped? Then you simply just take a pair of scissors and cut off the excess. You could just stick a sticker straight over that, but I prefer to just pat it down a little bit more evenly so it doesn't have such a big bump in it. So I'm just going to fold down the rest of this stretch wrap. If you feel like you have too much, you can also just cut some more excess off, which I might also do. Get yourself a sticker. So I've just got a Made with Love sticker here, but obviously if you want to sell your soaps, you'll need to put on a label, you know, list your ingredients or whatever the rules are in whichever part of the world you live. And so you can just cut back the plastic wrap until it sits fairly flat. Pop your sticker on like this. and that will hold your plastic wrap in place. And there we go. Just straighten out the wrap around the edges as best you can. And that is how you can wrap them to be even more beautiful, or showcase how beautiful they truly are. Well, I really hoped you enjoyed this tutorial for embossed mandala soap bars. Don't forget there's other amazing ideas on our YouTube channel and also on the Dancing Soap Dish website itself. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what we do. And thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Thanks guys, enjoy.